let me show y'all something here. See, that's a textbook for a class that I took. It was on critical thinking, and critical thinking is used in philosophy, and critical thinking is used in and can be used in court proceedings. And basically, one area of critical thinking is that you learn to break apart arguments and find out what is valid in an argument that is being used and what is invalid or what is defective. Okay, and one of the defects, one term for some of them, they're called fallacies. Okay, and they're defective arguments that are used all the time in court proceedings. Okay, and so when I say that the defense team will discredit the witnesses, okay, and that one of the ways that they'll do that, okay, that the smear campaign a lot of times starts before, okay, the actual trial, okay, that's something that happens, okay, and in terms of that, discrediting the witness, one of the ways that they do it, there's an actual name for that fallacy or for that argument, and the Latin term is argumentum ad hominem. That is an argument or an attack on the person, and they discredit the witness. So from our point of view, we've seen the footage, so we know that there were 2 or 3 individuals who were standing mere inches from Oscar Grant and the 2 officers. And so obviously from our point of view, these are credible witnesses. They were right there. They heard and they saw better. Okay, they had a close-up view of what happened. Okay, their view and their testimony would be better than someone who was standing on the train. Okay, but the defense team, one of the things that they're going to have to do if they're going to do their job, one of the things that they're going to do is they're going to discredit them. Okay, and again, the name of that argument that is generally used when that happens is called argumentum ad hominem. Okay, another fallacy that they use a lot of times to do that could be what's called a red herring, and that is where something is thrown into the argument that pretty much distracts and leads you away from what's really being argued. Okay, so in that example, the prosecutor is going to say, look, these guys were right there. Okay, they heard and they saw what happened. They heard Oscar Grant say, please don't tase me. I have a daughter. I have a child. Okay, they heard that. Okay, they saw him willingly, go down. They saw the officer handcuff him. They saw him pull out his gun, and they saw him shoot him. Okay, the defense is then going to turn around and say, hey, hold up, wait just a second. These guys were on drugs. These guys were drunk. They were coming from a New Year's celebration. We can't trust what they say. Depending on the drugs or the alcohol or the amount of alcohol that they had, who knows what was actually said and what they heard. Their perception is twisted and warped. Or these people, so-and-so has a history of being confrontative, with police officers. How do we know that he's not purposefully lying? Okay, we don't know what's going on. We can't trust what they say. They are discrediting the witness, and that is what they're supposed to do if they're a good defense attorney. And okay, on the other side, the prosecution is going to do the same thing. Okay, the defense team is going to present witnesses to try and show the benign nature and the character of Officer Mehserle, and so there are going to be other police officers who come forward or members of the community who come forward and who are going to say things like Johannes Mehserle was a stand-up officer. He never had a problem with any of his reports. He conducted himself in a very professional manner, and the prosecution is going to use that argument, argumentum ad hominem, or throw in a red herring. They're going to say, hold up, wait a minute, how can we trust what you say when you have a history of domestic violence? Okay, you're a violent person yourself. So what you perceive as violent, okay, or what you perceive as not violent is actually violent. We can't trust what you say. Or what maybe they can say, well, you know what? Hey, you have a history of being rough on your suspects. How can we trust what you say? Members of the jury, we can't trust any of these police officers. Of course they're going to stick together. I mean, that is what they're going to do. They're going to do it back and forth, and that is a fallacy. It's defective. Okay, and the reason I say another word is red herring is because it distracts away. Okay, it doesn't matter what their history is. The fact that they were there and they saw what happened, okay, makes them a witness, an eyewitness to what happened. But when you throw in these red herrings and you mislead people away, there are actually people who will say, you know what? Yeah, they were drunk. We don't know what they saw or what they said. Hey, man, and we don't know. Maybe they had Walkmans on. Maybe they had some headphones on. Maybe they were listening to that thump rap music. We don't know what they heard. I mean, it's distracting. Okay, it's stupid, but it actually works. Okay, that's what I'm saying. What else did I say? Another thing that they might try to do is, hey, they're going to have to refute the evidence, and the primary evidence in this case is the actual cell phone footage. So the defense team will more than likely try and get that thrown out. I mean, I don't see how it would happen, but it wouldn't surprise me that they would try to do that. So what is something that they can say? This cell phone footage is grainy. It's really out of focus. It's really from far away and it's blurry. We can't trust what we're seeing. The officer is standing in front of the camera in a lot of instances. We can't see what Oscar Grant is saying. How do we know that he's not threatening or cussing out the cops? And also, we can't trust what the witnesses are saying because they were drunk too. So, I mean, and that argument is called argumentum. Let me see if it's the right argument. Argumentum ad ignorantium, and basically, it's what's being used, this evidence. We can't trust the evidence. The evidence itself is faulty. Okay? Again, hey man, I don't know that would work, but that wouldn't surprise me because that is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to refute all evidence because they want to find their client not guilty or innocent. Okay, that's what they're supposed to do. I also said that they might try, it wouldn't surprise me, okay, if they tried to get the case moved to another county. And the actual name of the fallacy that they could possibly use would be argumentum ad misericordiam. And basically that is where you appeal to pity, where they appeal to the judge, where they say, hey, your honor, there is no one in the county of Alameda that has not seen that footage, that has not already developed an attitude and an opinion about Officer Mehserle. He's not going to get a fair case here, your honor. This court of law is supposed to offer fairness, a neutral, non-biased, deliberative procedure, and it's not going to happen here. We need to have this case taken to another part of the state where he can get that. Please, your honor, have mercy, have pity on him. So they might use that one. I don't know. Okay, well, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm not making this up. I'm not just trying to come up with something to be a voice of gloom and doom. I'm just saying this is what happens. Okay, and that autopsy where they really saying that they found crack cocaine on him, my first response was surprise, surprise. I'm surprised they didn't say. I'm surprised that they didn't say they found a knife on him. Okay, and because that's what they have to do. Okay, they have to. The defense team will have to try and get a not guilty or an innocent verdict. That is what they're supposed to do. Okay, and again, know that there's a difference. Okay, those are the three possibilities. He can either be found innocent, completely innocent of any wrongdoing. He can be found guilty. Okay, or he can be found not guilty of the charges that are being brought against him. See the difference there? Okay, again, I just want to say big ups to Kazuki Sarai, and I hope I pronounced that right. If not, please, no hard feelings. But some of the things that he said in his video response were right on the money. He was down in L.A. when the riots happened around because of the Rodney King verdict, and it is my hope that it doesn't happen here. I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see buildings being burnt and looting going on. I didn't participate in it last time, and I'm not going to participate in any time that it does happen. Okay, remember me, I'm a rebel frack. This system wants to and expects us to be violent. So if you want to be a real rebel, don't be violent. Rebel against that. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Okay, rebel frack.